so I am in the process of getting everything ready. Checking the audio.
Okay.
Alright, so Odyssey sounds good. So Odyssey sounds YouTube sounds good. Oops. Oh good, I didn't start X yet, so that means I did not mess up technically. Starting Odyssey now, and also starting Odyssey now, starting Twitch, and alright, so we have X sounding good and it's running. YouTube sounded good, like I said. Gotta hit refresh on Rumble. Rumble sounds good. And Twitch. Twitch sounds good as well. Alright, so I did it, 8 minutes left. I've got everything up and going, but now I have got to get my notes. Tonight I am going to, I think I'm going to have a pretty good show tonight, so with that being said, I will go ahead and just pop up my notes, my talking points, and I will be ready to, here it is. So I should be ready to go. Check the audio out. Everything is going great so far. I believe I have 3 hours worth of content. I've said that before and I've come up short on it, but I'm not going to guarantee it. But I do know it's coming good, so. Alright. Got my notes set up. And looks like I am good to go. I have 7 minutes to go. That means I can take another quick cigarette break. I've been thinking about maybe putting a little background music while I'm away, but I don't know about all that shit. It would interfere once I do my archiving. So, looks like everything is good to go. Got my coffee ready. Now it's time to go take a smoke. I'll be right back. Okay, we are on the hour, so I am going to do my countdown. I'll hit record and we will get started. Okay, 3, 2, 1, now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Live with Roger Hanson. I am Roger Hanson, and I welcome each and every one of you here today. Thank you for being here. Now, we have been talking a lot about ancient history, and we've also been talking a lot about politics here lately. And I do want to continue talking about politics a little bit more later on, but not as much as what we have been. And the reason for that is because I'm wanting to go through and do some of the things or topics on the things that me and several other people have discussed within the last year or so. That means that I'm going to have to kind of cut it short on the politics side of things. I will have to, or I can say though, that I have been keeping up with the whole Kamala Harris thing, and by the way it looks, she will be able to be approved by the DNC. It looks as though all the Democrats are just falling in line and accepting her as the nominee. So by the way it looks, she will end up running against Trump with backing from the DNC, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to step up and say they want to debate against her or anything of that nature. So she's doing the same bit, she's running around giving her campaign speeches and stuff, but even without the DNC, that's what she would have to be doing, running against Donald Trump. So it does look like that. And I don't want to get too much into it because I do have a good topic tonight, but I can say that. And I do want to say that I could have been wrong. I hear a lot of talk about her being radical and radicalism. It's really strange too that this year the term radical and radicalism is actually popping up in the media. Now that I've actually done some research and we've done some shows on Roger's Real Time Talk Show event about it. It might be just that I'm hearing it now rather than before, not really paying attention, so that could be the case. Now, to kick things off first, I want to say that we are streaming on Odyssey. Everything looks like it is in order and ready to go. I'm streaming on YouTube as well, both under Roger Hanson, my brand account. I'm also on X, by the way, under Roger Hanson. So if you guys want to check me out on Odyssey, YouTube, or X, you'll have to find me on Rumble or on as Roger Hanson. So on Rumble, I am going with Live with Roger Hanson. That's the channel that I'm on Rumble, so you can check me out there. And I am also on Twitch. And on Twitch, I am doing Live with Roger Hanson under Infamous 1969. So, with that being said, I told you everybody where I'm located at. I wanted to mention or start out this episode talking about gaming, and then after I do gaming, I want to get into philosophy. It's kind of philosophy, it's kind of not. what happened is earlier this year I did a project with Bob Dub from Minds.com, and it was a show that we did for her. It was called Duality with Bob Dub, and we did a 12 episode series on duality, and within those 12 episodes we covered the masculine and the feminine. So I would like to call that philosophy. It could be termed as another thing. So that's what I want to do. Now before I get started, I'm going to have to let that fucking cat out again. He just can't let him in the house at night. Every time you turn around, he keeps wanting to come to the door meowing. So let me let him outside again, and I'll be right back. Okay, so letting the cat out. I am back, and like I said, I'm gonna start out tonight with this episode with gaming. I went over this topic back last year when me and Karma Love were doing my gaming series on my other account on YouTube. I've got my Roger Hanson account for all the ones that you see on there, and then I have another one that's separate from it. And on there I did gaming podcast kind of shows and everything, and we covered Microsoft and how they signed a big deal with Ubisoft. Now the thing about that really did stick out to me was this cloud gaming. It was amazing to me because the deal gives Ubisoft Blizzard the non-exclusive cloud streaming rights for Call of Duty and every other Activision Blizzard game for the next 15 years, okay? And I was always wondering, well, when it comes to that whole situation, the whole thing about it is EU regulators and UK regulators, all of them stipulated that the deal between Ubisoft and Xbox, I believe, had to depend on them putting their games on this cloud gaming server, or this cloud or gaming cloud, and I was wondering why they did that. Well, I actually went in and I checked it out. Now the CMA is the ones who were the regulators who were responsible with the concerns over Microsoft, and they had concerns that Microsoft would dictate where its games could be streamed and everything, and that was one of their issues. And they also felt that Microsoft might also give preferential treatment to its own cloud gaming networks and things like of that nature, and that's the reason why they stipulated that this had to take place. Now, for me, I see it like this. I've been really, I really have been keeping an eye on like politics and stuff like that, and I find it funny that they think that Microsoft would dictate what games could be streamed, and they would take preferential uh, treatment um, over on no to its own cloud, basically cloud gaming networks, when they themselves are all about regulation and reforms and referendums and stuff of that nature. So to me, I'm asking myself, is it really because they don't want them to dictate where the games can be streamed, um, and given preferential treatment and stuff of that nature, or is it because they um, want to regulate these things and dictate what they want done? You know what I mean? So it's that's something that really sticks out to me. So give me a second again. I have to go check something out. Okay, had a slight issue. Things aren't starting out too well this afternoon or this evening. It's 10 p.m. So it's amazing how things are. Well, anyhow, that's what sticks out to me, and I do understand how big the acquisition was. This wasn't like a small acquisition between Xbox and Ubisoft. It was actually like $68.7 billion. So there's a whole lot of money that's being passing hands and everything. I also found out that besides Ubisoft, Blizzard, Xbox, and Microsoft, actually Microsoft has recently partnered with other companies too for gaming rights, for its games, and Anwar, EE, Boosteroid, Ubitus, and Nvidia are some of them. So they not only are partnering with Ubisoft, but they're also partnering with them. And I just found out within the last 3 years that Nvidia is actually doing quite well when it comes to the gaming and everything. I knew that Nvidia was into doing stuff with XSplit. I knew that they're actually making games too with the graphics and stuff of that nature. But most of it that I knew of with Nvidia had to do with GPUs, and I knew that they were working on doing it to where you can live stream and record on your computer directly without using, or at least record without using like an encoder. Like I use OBS, but I didn't know that they were actually doing big trades like that with cloud gaming rights for Microsoft's games. So that was interesting to find out. Now, for me, also, I mentioned with Karma Love about Xbox 360. Now, just so you guys know, and I've been saying it repeatedly as many times as I can remember, that they closed on July the 29th. So from this point on, the store is closed. When it comes, the digital storefront has shut down, basically. So just be aware of that. Now, Xbox, when it did close its doors, 220 non-backwards compatible games became unavailable for purchase. Now, that's the one thing that I was told. I really wish I had time to go and check and see if any of that had been taken care of, because back when I did the original episode talking about this, I did mention that Phil Spencer said that he had listed had the list of non back compatible games set to be lost in the shuffle, and he wanted to make it a huge priority to try to get some figure out ways in which to save these games. So I didn't have a chance. Maybe later on I can go and do it again, find out more of it, because I do want to discuss more about gaming on here. And this is one thing that I didn't have time to really check up on and find out if they did do it. Now, Phil Spencer, like I said that he had a list of back compatible games set to be lost in the shuffle, and he was going to try to come up with a solution. And he also stated that it might simply mean, those games are already available on PC, and he also said that it's the best ecosystem for game preservation, which to me, I agree. I think it'd be good if they could get them up on the computer, set up as a computer game, to where people can play them. Maybe get hooked up with Steam, put them out for free, like they should be, to be honest with you. They're so old, they don't even make money off of it no more, you know what I mean? That's one reason why they shut it down for a thing. Spencer said that it came down to the lifespan of the hardware and the number of users actually still playing and buying games on the Xbox 360. That was the reason why they decided to discontinue it, close the digital store, and be done with it. Now me personally, there was quite a few games that I really enjoyed playing on the Xbox 360. I just finished one that I hadn't been able to play, but I'd seen somebody on excuse me, I'm having a brain on Discord playing it because I do WLCs with her, or I did. She's not on there anymore, but she had done Gears of War, and I had heard about Gears of War, but I never got a chance to see it. So finally, I did check out Gears of War, and I got to play it, and I liked it. And there's other Xbox 360 games too that I can mention, but that was one of the big ones that I did notice, and that I did want to actually, try out. Now, like he said, it was the lifespan of the hardware and the number of users that actually still play and are buying the games on Xbox. Now, like I said, it would probably be best if, they do something with Steam, or Galaxy of Games is another one. There's a lot of options that they have where they could put them up and get them out there. Hopefully they have. Now, many of the games unavailable for purchase after the 360 store went offline are digitally only titles that were part of what was once called Xbox Live Arcade. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but these are what a lot of those games are that are that are unavailable for purchase now. Some of those titles, like Supergiant's Bastion, have been re-released on more modern Xbox hardware, but a lot of them haven't. Many that haven't, like Bionic Commando, Rearmed, they've been released on other platforms too, like PC. So that has happened. I do want to make a note though, that game game content already purchased on the Xbox 360 will still be able to be played and re-downloaded, and backwards compatible titles will still be available for purchase on Xbox One and Xbox Series X S. So that is one thing to understand, and I still have to go and I have to check out what's going on with Xbox as well on my computer, because before this one I did notice that their store had changed, so I'm still able to have access to it and everything, but there's a lot of weird things going on there when it comes to the Xbox on the computer. Just so people know, it's really weird. Like now it's called Xbox, just plain Xbox. So I don't know. And plus I switched over to Windows 11, and that is a very, very strange experience all on its own. So I'm having to deal with doing that as well as trying to get through a lot of the stuff that I've been doing, because I've been going through a transition right now. Since June, I've been backing away from live streaming so that I could take a break. And like right now, I'm live streaming, but I'm doing it on my own. I am not wanting to do any live streams with anybody at the moment, just so that I can actually do this stream and maybe take a break throughout the week so that I can get other things that I wanted to do done and taken care of. So what it basically is I've been doing this stream and not anything else. I've been putting uploads or archiving videos on the Wonderful World of Weirdness, which is every day except for 2 of them, and I believe that's Tuesday and Wednesday, but there's always a video coming out on there. I don't have anything coming out on Strange Stories, which I'm probably going to get that started up here before long too, and get some stuff going out there, because I want to keep the content coming, you know what I mean, even though I'm not live streaming. So I do have plans there, I just don't know them exactly. I've reached out to a couple of people that I want to work on my Into the Abyss series with. This next one, I am wanting to discuss astrology as well as Jupiter, and how, or not astrology, but astronomy and Jupiter, and how these two things are played out in history, you know what I mean, because there's a lot of interesting stuff that's taken place there that I do want to bring up and have a conversation about. One of the persons that I know of is really good in numerology too, and I want her to come on, and if she wants to talk about numerology and how it relates to the things that she's hearing, I have no problem with that. It would be perfectly fine. It's up to her if she wants to do it, but that's completely up to her. Now I also am in the process now of trying to get 2 channels that I have that's been basically sitting around for the last 6 months back up and running. I have one that's called the Storyteller. I've been promising to do a story from John G off of Minds.com for a while that I am in the process of getting it edited and ready to go. I've got 5 chapters of it already recorded, but now I have to get it all set up and put on there and scheduled and ready to go, and we should have that going. So it's gonna be good. I've got that. I've got 2 other stories that I do want to add to it. One is going to be about Satan and Moloch Ball in an arm wrestling contest. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So after that, there is a few others actually, but that's one of them. Another one is going to have something to do with what we're about to discuss tonight when it comes to the masculine and the feminine aspects. So that's going to be pretty cool as well. So that is going on there. Now, I'm wanting to get active on a channel that I really haven't done nothing with for years, and this one is called Earth. Now, I've been doing ancient history and science. He was trying to call in. He's probably doing a show right now, so yeah. So that's what it was. Now, I am also, besides, see, that gets distracting. Now I have to get my thoughts back into place. But like I said, I had this channel. It's called Earth, and it's been sitting around, and I haven't been doing anything with it for years. I think the last thing that I was doing with it was gardening. I'm pretty sure that's all I was doing. I didn't have any ideas on what to do with it. It wasn't really getting much traffic, and it wasn't taking off at all, because most people on the internet don't really want to watch videos concerning gardening, you know. And to be honest too, back then I wasn't into this stuff as much as what I have been into it. So with that being said, you know, I do have to say maybe I'll be able to do something better with it now, especially considering I have different ideas. So I want to add my ancient history as well as the this is getting annoying. I'm gonna have to mute this shit. Yeah, mute the noise. And well, anyhow, I am planning on Yeah, see, it doesn't want to do it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have anything on there. Yeah, turn notification sounds off is what I'm gonna do. There we go. So what I was saying is this, the the whole thing with this is I want to bring ancient history in, put some ancient history on the show or on the channel. I've been doing it on the Praetorian, but to be honest, I'd rather do it on Earth. I'm also wanting to bring in my science. I've got a lot of science stuff that I'd like to have on there as well. Now, the Praetorian was originally set up for politics, but I got frustrated with politics during. Well, it was, yeah, right during the first time Trump was being into office. It started getting out of hand. It's not like it wasn't bad during the Obama administration. You know what I mean? Everybody was pretty hostile then, but after freaking Obama into Trump and then into Biden, it just everything just turned to crap. All you ever hear is like garbage politics and stuff like that, and I just basically walked away from it that whole time during Trump's administration and now into Biden's administration. So for that whole amount of time, I was done with it, and I just now started within the last year of doing it again. To be honest with you, so with uh, with with all of that, I've been focusing on that, but I really don't want to come back with ancient history on the Praetorian, and stuff of that nature, or history. Period. I was doing other stuff that wasn't ancient. It was like in the Middle Ages and stuff, and the Age of Enlightenment areas and stuff of that nature. But I want to put that on Earth, and then after I do that, I'm also wanting to do my science, like I said. But I am wanting to come out with a series too that relates kind of to what I'm going to be discussing tonight. And that's going to deal with duality, and things of that nature, philosophy, historic events concerning philosophy, stuff of that nature. It's going to go on my channel for Earth. I've also been wanting to maybe get back into the whole gardening thing because I don't know. Times are getting pretty crazy these days, and I think it's probably a good idea that people, kind of get encouraged to grow their own gardens and start learning how to take care of themselves rather than depending on outside sources when it comes to food and everything. I have a lot of different people who come on my show, and a lot of them are conspiracy theorists, and a lot of them think that it's manufactured. But when it comes to the food, manufactured food shortages, but like I always say to those guys, even, it doesn't matter if this is manufactured or if it's actually happening. The what matters is those freaking cabinets in the stores are still empty. You know what I mean? And they're going to get empty because they're just not getting the food put in the store like they're supposed to be. So any way you look at it, you need to be more aware of how to do things. How to take care of yourself, grow your own food, Take care of your family that way rather than going out and spending money on Burger King or fast food joints. You know what I mean? Um, going to, I mean, because to be honest, I mean, going out to these restaurants even is unhealthy for you. There's nothing good about it. And you can say, yeah, well, it's just unhealthy going to stores too, which is true. There's a reason why the dairy section has all that cheese and all that cottage cheese, you know what I mean? So those are things that you need to think about. Maybe, pick up a little bit of fertilizer and get your hands dirty. Get a little bit more familiar with gardening and the soil and things of that nature. So it's a thought. I mean, it might be something that I want to do in the future. So now, what I do have going when it comes to my, I've already mentioned Wonderful World of Weirdness, taking a break. Now, Austin and Summer Todd have said that they are coming back in October. So in October we'll be doing something there, and I'll be doing something as well. WoW Talk is pretty much good to go until the end of the year when it comes to uploaded archives. We have tons of good content coming in there, so that channel is taken care of. Like I said, I wanted to focus on doing this one, put Live with Roger Hanson on here, because this is something that I've been wanting to do the whole time. But believe it or not, I've done all these other streams with different names, and not once did I have a chance to do a stream that is just Live with Roger Hanson, so this is something that I needed to do for quite a long time. So I'm going to do 12 episodes of this, and then I'll be done with Live with Roger Hanson, and we'll have the archives going. Now, besides doing this stream, what I'm also doing is I'm transferring files from YouTube, and well, not really YouTube, it's actually right here on my computer. I've got all of the videos that I've done for the last year. I mean, it's literally the last year, maybe 2 or 3 days past a year. Last year I've got all the videos uploading on Rumble, and not only are they uploading on Rumble, but they have their own channels and they have their own playlist to go with them. Now I have got Live with Roger Hanson, then I've got Gaming with Infamous, I've got the Praetorian, I've got the Wonderful World of Weirdness, and I have I think that's it. There might be another one somewhere. I'm not quite sure about that. So, but I know that I have at least 4 channels on there that are good to go. I could probably check it out real quick, but I am live streaming on Rumble, and I don't really want to. But yeah, I can go there and find out. Now, that is what's going on with me when it comes to what I've been doing right now. And besides that, yeah, I've got 5 of them. I've got Live with Roger Hanson, Wonderful World of Weirdness, Roger Hanson, Roger Hanson's The Storyteller. That's one right there that I missed. And then the Praetorian, and then working with audio and video. So all of those channels are set up, the playlists are going in, and we have got it set up and good to go. So it looks like it looks like Wonderful World of Weirdness is also eligible for being reserved on custom URLs as well, so that's pretty cool. Um, Good news to hear. Now, when it comes to Rumble, I've also got a locals.com that's set up if you guys want to be a part of that. It's a great way to help support us. I'm wanting to try to set up a community that is able to help support content creators. It's a good thing that I remember that and I went and did this because that's something that I have been wanting to discuss. Now, in a few, maybe two previous episodes, I mentioned working with Bob Dub and Minds Gaming on creating a coin through MintMe. And the reason why I'm doing the coin system through MintMe is in order to create a community that is able to monetize itself without being dependent on these platforms in order to make some kind of income. Now, Mine's Gaming and Bob Dub and them, they're all, real big on the open source and, doing shit for free thing, where everybody basically comes together and they create content and they don't worry about monetization or money or earning anything from what they do, And I'm fine with that, but for them. But for me, and other people who are like-minded, I'd like to be able to make something that's, for myself, for the efforts that I do put in it, and I don't ask for much, I've been doing this stuff for a year, and to be honest with you, on Rumble, I've been doing it for a year, and so far I've only made like $1.87, and that's fine, you know what I mean? Because the whole thing that's important to me is the fact that freaking at least I have something that's freaking right there in my face, and I know that this is how much I made for that year because of the content I put out. I don't even know when or how much money I need to do before I can get it. You know what I mean? If it has to be like $100 like the other ones or anything. So, I mean, I'm just that's my whole thing. It's just I'm tired of people who are platforms who are taking advantage of content creators and not at least giving them something that's worth their time and their effort when it comes to doing this content and being able to, spend hard time or hard long hours behind the computer doing this stuff, because it's not easy. You don't just make content, you know what I mean? I spend hours sitting here editing. I spend hours setting up, organizing. I've done an outline on things that I want to discuss. And that's not even mentioning going on and actually doing the live streams, So I think, for me, what I'm trying to say is that I'm just wanting to create an ecosystem to where content creators can come in and they can choose if they want to do their stuff for free. It's no big deal. It's fine. All right. But if they want to actually make or earn money off of the content they're putting out, then I want to set something up like that. I haven't made it to that point yet, but I'm working on it and trying to figure out the ins and outs of it. And looking at different options, because for one thing, I did notice the cool things that are happening with Odyssey too, and I got to give kudos to Odyssey. They just today made a notification that they will no longer be putting ads on Odyssey. Odyssey will be, Hold on a minute, I'm having issues. I am having issues with my internet. Yeah, there we go. Somebody tried to call me in again, but what I'm having what I'm wanting to do is set this up with the ecosystem to where people can monetize themselves with cryptocurrency, and I'm working on it. I haven't quite made it there yet, but I am working it out, trying to get it done. So let's see here. Now, with that being said, I think I'm pretty much covered on it now. Odyssey is what I was wanting to talk about. I wanted to give them kudos on what they've been doing there about no ads. They just said that they're done with them and they're not going to be doing anymore. They have confidence in the new monetization programs that they're setting up, that they don't feel that they need them. And they also don't think that the people who are watching content on Odyssey like them either, so they're gonna get rid of them. So that sounds good. They are starting like I said on the last episode, they're starting a new system going with Arweave, and I've been checking it out, and it looks pretty good. If you guys missed the last episode, I suggest you go check it out and see what that's all about. So that's pretty good stuff. So I am going to switch images and go from my slideshow to my background real quick, and I'll be putting on a song here in a minute that I want to share with you guys. So, or not, it actually is a share. It's a mix, I'd say, but I'm going to put this on, and then after I get back, I'm going to start with my topic that I set up for tonight besides the video gaming. And this is going to be with hold on, let me get it. This is going to be some stuff I put up together. This is going to be on my new G-Spot episode that I'm going to be putting out. So it's not the whole thing, so don't worry, it's not going to be huge. But I will get it here once I find the file. I should have had this ready already. So there we go. I think I found it. Figure out what am I doing here. There we go. Yeah. Nope. I was wrong. There we go. And I'll be back here in a little bit. This is a little bit long, and I hope you enjoy.
Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, hatred, hatred. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Let me bring your light. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness. Let me bring joy. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness. Let me bring joy. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness.
The moods flow from one to another, never stopping. There is no pinnacle development. never stopping, never stopping. The moods flow from one to another, never stopping, never stopping, never stopping. Defined, 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 in the moment defined, in the moment defined, in the moment, in the moment, in the moment, and becomes 2 life forms, then 3, then 4, then 5. The birth and the death, the birth, the birth, the birth and the death, 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 then 3, then 4, then 5, then 3, then 4, then 5. Then 3, then 4, then 5, occur in the same instant. Winter turns to spring and the summer turns to autumn. Death is life. Achieve balance, 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 balance. Achieve balance, balance. Achieve balance, achieve balance. Harmony, harmony, harmony. Achieve balance, harmony, harmony, harmony. Achieve balance, harmony, harmony, harmony. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow.
Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Let me bring your light. Where there is hatred, 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 let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred,
Okay, so that is the end of that. Now, I am done with discussing gaming and things of that nature with Odyssey and all that stuff. So now I want to get to the second topic that I was wanting to discuss. Just so you guys know, that song had Bob Dub in it. I used her voice in the mix on that, and I did that. It's supposed to be coming out on my G spot. That's going to be all the crazy mixes I've been putting together. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. I figured I would do I figured I would do the song starting out before I got into this, because this is a project that me and Bob Dub did, like I said earlier. I believe we had Within the Vacuum on there at one time. We also had Rush of Waves, and I believe Auto Excelsior even came on. We had Do Better. He came on as well. I think he came on twice, maybe. So we had quite a few people who showed up for it. I don't know for sure if Auto and Within the Vacuum came on. It was a pretty long series, to be honest with you. We covered a lot of interesting stuff. So the whole thing started out with duality, and it reached into masculine, the masculine and the feminine. And that's the thing that I wanted to discuss tonight. Now, we do have an entire series on these topics, so if you want to check it out, you can check it out on the Wonderful World of Weirdness. Duality with Bob Dub is the playlist that it's under, and it's also being put out on Rumble as well, so you guys can check it out there. I haven't been doing any uploads on Odyssey, but it is on Odyssey as well. I just haven't got it on any playlist, so it'd be harder to find on Odyssey if you check there. But like I said, tonight what I want to discuss is the masculine and the feminine, and it was a part of this series on duality. I just want to focus on these two subjects. I'm going to start out with discussing the masculine and then go into the feminine aspects. Now, this is going to start out in the masculine aspects of nature, and I won't be like going in between and saying this is the masculine aspects of nature and then starting out with another aspect or part of the world or anything, because masculine and feminine aspects don't work like that. They kind of go from nature and blend into other things that are going on in the world, so you can't categorize them normally like you could everything, because first of all, and I've mentioned this too before, and a lot of people gotten upset whenever I said this. I think the first mistake that we did with these two aspects where we linked them to gender. Gender is part of the masculine and the feminine, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot bigger than that. It goes into almost every facet of life that we know, as we know it. And not only that, but male or female, it doesn't matter. You have both aspects within you. So males have both a feminine as well as a masculine aspect, just like a woman has a masculine as well as a feminine aspect. So like I said, I think that the biggest mistake we did was we latched these on to genders. And I'm not trying to say any dumb shit about freaking transgenderism or anything like that. This has nothing to do with politics whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I probably or most definitely won't be discussing politics when it comes to this, because the stuff I talk about will go into society as a whole and how these two aspects actually influence us in everyday life, and they've always influenced us. It's not something that is just occurred or is something that's been around for only like 2,000 years. It's been here since we have. So with all of that being said, I'll get into the masculine aspects here in a second after I take a drink of my coffee. I do want to apologize for being harassed on Skype. All of a sudden now everybody wants me to hang out with them. You know what I mean? So let me go on and see if we actually do have anybody watching. Got a couple of views, and I believe so. So we got 3 views on Rumble, 2 views on YouTube, and 1 view on Twitch. And the one on Twitch could be me watching myself. So thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll get started now. You have the masculine aspects of nature, which are gravitational forces, buoyancy, force, electrostatic forces, and so forth, okay? The sun represents the masculine aspects of illumination, strength, and power. So these are masculine aspects that have to do with nature. Now, the masculine aspects within society encompasses courage, decisiveness, protection, responsibility, authority, bravery, honor, and the establishment of law and order. So if you are a person who believes in courage or shows courage, if you are decisive, if you are protective, things like that, if you're responsible, you have you like authority, or you're believe in authority, stuff of that nature, then what you're doing is you're using the masculine aspects of who you are in life, okay? Now, with gravitational force, buoyancy force, electrostatic force, and so forth, those are things that are a part of nature that are also a part of science. Now, buoyancy actually is like one of the very basic, important parts of astrophysics, I believe, too. They use the duality of buoyancy in physics as well, so that's something to take into consideration. So it goes from nature into science, you know. That's one thing that we were really big on towards the end of our series was nature and dualities. We've found a lot of interesting things out about bumblebees, hummingbirds, and the way they fly, the wings and the things of that nature. So it's pretty interesting. If you guys have a chance, check it out. I think you would like it. So now, with it, one thing else that I want to talk about is karma. That's something that Buddhists and Hindus believe in. Now, karma is another word for duty. And karma and duty are masculine aspects according to the Hindu and the not Muslim, the Buddhist theology. So that's something you need to realize as well. So karma, when you're talking about that, that's what you're talking about, the masculine aspects according to those theologies. Now tonight I'm going to focus on the Hindu religion and not get into the Buddhist religion. And the reason for that is I've actually done more research on Hinduism than what I have on Buddhism at the moment. I have done a little bit, but not as much as what I have with the Hindus on my channel, the Wonderful World of Weirdness. I've been getting into things that have to do with the Hindu religion and discussing that, as well as the whole historical aspects of it as well. So I've been able to do a lot more research into the Hindus than what I have the Buddhists. So that's what I'll be sticking to when it comes to this. So now with Dharma is a key concept in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism with multiple meanings. It was defined as cosmic order or law. It is a combination of morality and spiritual discipline that guides a person's life. In Hinduism, Dharma is the religious and moral laws that govern individual conduct and is one of the four ends of life. The word Dharma comes from the Sanskrit word dur or dhr, which means to hold or to support, and is related to the Latin word firmus, firm or stable. Now, in Sanskrit, the term Dharamayud comes from the Punjabi word dharam, which is usually translated as religion. However, it has been said to encompass a broader understanding of appropriate conduct, moral order, and bodily discipline than the English word religion and religious practice, according to people who believe in Hinduism and Buddhism. Now, that's basically what this comes down to. It encompasses a broader understanding of appropriate conduct, moral order, and bodily disciplines. That's basically what a dharma is the equivalent of. It's that. So whenever you get into dharma, you also have to take into consideration things like the Four Noble Truths. Okay, now they are the truths. They are the truth of suffering. Okay, that's what the Four Noble Truths are about. The truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path that leads to the end of suffering. So those are the Four Noble Truths. I'll repeat them. They are the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path that leads to the end of suffering. Okay. So with that, you need to understand suffering does exist. It has a cause, it has an end, and it has a cause to bring about its end. So that's what the Four Noble Truths is all about. Okay. After that, you also have to take into consideration the Noble Eightfold Path. And the Noble Eightfold Path is a set of eight practices in Buddhism that are believed to cultivate wisdom and lead to enlightenment. You have the right view, insight into the reality of life, then the right intention, also known as the right resolve. Then you have the right speech, abstaining from harmful, divisive, or false speech and idle chatter. After that, you go to the right action, which is behaving in a skillful way that promotes peace and honor and avoids harming others. Then there's right livelihood, earning a living without causing harm or suffering to others. After that, you have right effort, putting effort into meditation and positive emotions. Then there's right mindfulness, being aware of yourself and the emotions of others. Okay, now then you go into right concentration, developing focus to aid in meditation. Now, on a lot of these, if you notice too, with the Noble Eightfold, they mention avoiding harming others or causing suffering to others and things of that nature. That's something that really stood out to me. Now, it's like the right livelihood, earning a living without causing harm or suffering to others. That's something that really stuck out to us in our conversations and everything when it came to duality. And also there's something else that I want to mention too that I'm not really going to tap into too much in tonight's stream, but there is a difference between duality and dualism. Just be aware of that. Duality, the best example is there's birth and then there's death, okay? And those are two things that you can't really avoid, you know what I mean? You're born into this world and you die into this world, and there's no frustration with that. That's two things that happen in your life that just naturally occurs. What happens in between might not be natural, but life and death are two things that happen, and it's that's duality, where there's no friction or frustration between those two. They just happen, you know what I mean? And it's a natural way of doing. Where dualism is two opposing forces that usually collide in conflict and chaos and stuff of that nature. Sometimes they work together, but most of the time it usually ends up being conflict and things of that. That's why the ism is at the end. Usually when ISM is at the end of a world, it indicates conflict, aggression of some kind. So okay, so those are the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so now we come to something called the RTA, or RTA is how it's spelled. It's just RTA. Now, RTA is a concept in Hinduism that refers to the natural order that governs the universe and everything within it. Okay, the word RTA comes from the Sanskrit word urta, which means order, rule, truth, or logos. It is also described as a force of power that is necessary for the cosmos to have freedom, safety, security, truth, order, and law. So right here you're getting a bit of information of what the masculine aspects of Dharma is in Rata, or whatever, however you spell it or say it. It represents freedom, safety, security, truth, order, and law. Alright, and that comes right back up to what I was discussing before whenever we were talking about the masculine attributes within society encompasses courage, decisiveness, protection, responsibility, authority, bravery, honor, and the establishment of law and order. So these are the masculine aspects of Dharma, or the Rita, I guess you could call it, which they just explained. Now, Rita is mentioned in the Vedas, India's ancient sacred scriptures. Now, the Vedas are something that I've been dabbing a little bit into with Austin on the Wonderful World of Weirdness, and we've been getting into different aspects of it. So whenever I was doing this with Bob Dub, I was reading different things that were related to Hinduism that had nothing to do with what we were doing on the Wonderful World of Weirdness. And it was interesting because you're seeing the same topic with the same religious beliefs, but from two different direct angles, you know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, Rita, or RTA, also has to do with customs, which include rituals, festivals, and other practices. Rituals are common among the Hindu. Common Hindu rituals include puja, meditation, yoga, and visiting a temple. It's a personal ritual that can, puja is a personal ritual that can include ringing a bell, using incense, and making offerings. It can also involve a mantra, which is a word for sound, which is a word or sound that helps with concentration. Which reminds me, I need to get a slideshow going for you guys, don't I? Alright, so let me get back here and get something going. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Yeah. Alright, so I will get that back on there for you. I completely forgot to do that, didn't I? So there you go. Got that going. So yeah. Now, like I said, the puja is a personal ritual that can include ringing a bell, using incense, and making offerings. It can also involve a mantra, which is a word or sound that helps with concentration. Other Hindu rituals include yajna, where priests will help make offerings to deities, and japa, which is the silent or audible recitation of God's name. Now, the duty of karma is to ensure that individuals experience the consequences of their actions, whether positive or negative. Karma operates on the principle of cause and effect, implying that every action we take will result in a corresponding outcome. Hinduism contains many sources of human rights as well, including social and individual freedoms, moral agency, debt or debts, and duties. Now, these are, let me remind you, these are masculine aspects. Okay, keep that in mind. So, when you're talking about karma and you're talking about action, when you're talking about individual freedoms, moral agencies, debts, and duties, you're talking about the masculine aspects of society, or of the Hindu society, or society period, so these are all masculine, and it doesn't matter what gender you are. If you're male or female, these are your masculine aspects. So, social freedoms. These include freedoms from violence, want, exploitation, dishonor, and early death and disease. This is what Hinduism has when it comes to sources of human rights. All right. So these include freedom from violence, want, exploitation, dishonor, and early death and disease. Then you have individual possessions or virtues. This includes absence of intolerance, compassion, knowledge, freedom of thought, and freedom of thought and conscience. Yeah, there we go. Individual possession of virtues. These includes absence of intolerance, compassion, knowledge, freedom of thought and conscience, and freedom from fear and frustration. Now that one kind of gets a little weirded out for me. Like, these include absence of compassion, knowledge, freedom of thought and consciousness. Now, that kind of goes against the grain on a lot of things when it comes to Western thought, you know what I mean? So I think that's pretty interesting. I've actually heard somebody having a conversation about that at one time. I thought that was pretty good stuff. So I'd like to go over that some other time. I think that would be kind of cool. So after that, we go into moral agency. This includes the capacity for knowledge and action, which involves entitlement to basic rights and obligations. So now, knowledge and action, which involves entitlement to basic rights and obligations. So you got rights and obligations, all masculine aspects. Okay, so now we move into debts, and debts is all about the masculine aspect, of course, without even saying anything, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. These are debts owed to the gods, sages, ancestors, and all human beings, which are discharged through worship, scriptural study, and memorial services. Now, this is all according to the Hindu religion. These are the debts that are being paid. These are debts owed to the gods, sages, ancestors, and all human beings, which are discharged through worship, scriptural study, and memorial services. So, the masculine aspect of this would be worship, scriptural studies, and memorial services. Alright, so duties. This is the big one. This is what Dharma is all about. Karma as well. So I don't even know if it's the same word, to be honest with you. I mean, I know there's dharma and then there's karma. Gotta take my drink of coffee. Alright. So, duties. These often coincide with rights, such as the state's duty to ensure a human being's right to safety of person. Now, duties and your rights. That would be masculine. So that was kind of a no-brainer right there. Now, dharma is a universal moral principle that includes values and attitudes such as truth, right conduct, love, peace, nonviolence, absence of conceit, absence of hypocrisy, harmlessness, accommodation, and straightforwardness. It also includes the freedom to ask questions, pursue answers, discern truth from untruth, and act in accordance with Dharma. So these are basically the masculine aspects of Dharma, and that's truth, right conduct, love, peace, nonviolence, absence of conceit, absence of hypocrisy, harmlessness, accommodation, and straightforwardness. It also includes the freedom to ask questions, pursue answers, discern truth from untruth, which is basically discernment, and act in accordance with Dharma. Now, Hinduism ethical code, or Dharma, is a central concept in the religion that governs individual conduct and is considered one of the four ends of life. It emphasizes values such as truth, right conduct, love, peace, and nonviolence. Hindus believe that beliefs determine thoughts and attitudes, which in turn guide actions and create destiny. So right there, they use the word destiny, but they also say it creates people's destiny. So through beliefs, thoughts, attitudes, they guide actions and create destiny. So that, I think that's pretty cool right there. So now that is what I know that we discussed back when we were doing the masculine side of it when it comes to Hinduism, a little bit of Buddhism, and a lot of Dharma, and a little bit of karma, all that good stuff. That's the stuff that we're talking about in the series that we're going through. I know that we did some stuff concerning virtues and stuff like that as well, and also covered some Zoroastrianism. So if you guys want to go in and check out those episodes, feel free to do so. You know where to find it. I believe Bob Dub might have some on her channel. I'm not quite sure if she does or not, but you might want to check and find out. Now, after that, I am wanting to also go and I lost track of, Here we go. Now, after that, I wanted to go into. I found out where I'm supposed to be. So after that, I want to go into modern views of the masculine energy. Now, we have the masculine energy now, which is something that is a more modern approach to masculine and feminine aspects. So, with that, let me go ahead and start. Now, being grounded in personal development, spirituality, and pop psychology is a modern view of masculine energy. Being fully present in the moment without being preoccupied or distant from yourself. So you're not distracted. You're focused on yourself and not not focused on not focused basically. You're not disoriented. So being aware of your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations basically. Finding inner balance and stability, being centered, being connected to your authentic self, being calm, being confident, being comfortable with yourself. Those are being fully present in the moment, and being grounded in personal development, spirituality, and pop psychology, basically. Now, being analytic is another masculine is another masculine or is another modern view of masculine energy. So being analytical. That would be examining or enjoying examining things in detail to learn more about them. So they might describe someone as having an analytical mind, or say that a student has an analytical approach to learning. That could be being analytical. So that's a good example of it. Also, being focused, to give your full attention and effort to a specific task or goal. To filter out distractions, basically. You can read something without needing to reread it. You can work without being distracted by conversations, stuff like that. So that's another masculine energy. It's a modern view for masculine energy. Okay, now being supportive, believe it or not, is actually supposed to be a masculine energy as well. Now, being supportive, to be kind and helpful to someone who's going through a difficult or unhappy time in their life, provide sympathy or encouragement, offer additional help or information, being supportive of someone's writing attempts, offering advice if someone asks for it, those kind of things. Alright, now another masculine another masculine energy is being protective. Now, in today's world, that's kind of a touchy subject. A lot of people don't like it, but there's a whole different way of thinking about it too. A lot of people think protective and everything, but that's another topic. But being protective, having or showing a strong desire to protect someone or something from harm. You might be protective of your children, a new puppy, or someone you like. It also includes wearing protective gear to keep yourself safe from physical injury, like a firefighter has to wear protective gear before they go into a house fire, things like that. Those are a modern view for masculine masculine energy, basically. You know what I mean? Those are pretty interesting when you think about it. According to wearing protective gear and everything, that's a masculine energy. So masculine energies are associated to being externally focused. It has to do with attention. A performer concentrates on the outside of their body, such as the environment, or on the intended effect of the movement. That would go good with throwing a ball, focusing externally on the ball and its target rather than internally on your wrist, elbow, and shoulder. External focus can improve motor performance and balance more than internal focus. Now, after that, we go to culture. An externally focused corporation culture is one that prioritizes customers and market trends and looks outward for feedback, answers, and solutions. Externally focused companies like Amazon, Southwest Airlines, and TD Bank put the customers at the center of their business and try to anticipate their needs. Right there, I don't know about all that. It doesn't even sound good. Just reading all that, but I'll let it go. Now, that is supposed to be a masculine energy as well. So we go into behavior, and these are associated with masculine energies. So when it comes to behavior, dogs are an example of an animal that lives lives an externally focused existence, focusing on their immediate external world rather than how they're viewed by others. Now, that is good, but also being too externally focused can lead to problems with regulating emotions. I could understand that too, where people want to hide from their emotions and try to avoid them, because like during this whole situation with the stream that we were going through, I noticed that quite a bit actually. Even when I started doing this stream, I would doing the streaming when I was doing the roundtables and the interviews and stuff. Like, I've had people on who, like Karma, for example. She was a good example. She was one of these people who believed in the power of one, and Mr. Robot believes in that stuff too. And when I had conversations with him, I would bring up stuff like the subconscious mind and the ego and the alter ego. Mr. Robot was cool with it, but like Karma, and there was a few others too who said the same thing, but Karma was one of the big ones. She didn't believe that the subconscious even existed, you know what I mean? And then like she didn't believe in an alter ego. She believed that the subconscious mind was like a connection to a God conscience that was telling you what to do, and that was it. That's all she believed in. It didn't take into consideration all of those, unresolved emotions that were taking place within your head or her head or my head or anything, you know what I mean? And for me personally, I had to learn about this stuff in my own personal life, and that was one of the things that really amazed me whenever I started doing this stuff, is there's actually people who don't believe that the subconscious mind even exists. It's just like with the ego, for all the good things that we do, you have to understand that there's also the alter ego. There's the alter ego in the background that is just waiting to come out. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like waiting for the shoe to drop. Basically, is what it is. So for every good thing you do, there's that alter ego that's fueled by freaking unresolved emotions and traumatic things that's happened in your life, and that's building up because you're feeling good about yourself, but there's that part back there in the back of your head in the subconscious mind that is growing as well. So eventually what happens is, if you don't resolve all these issues in your mind, it's the shoe, it's waiting for the shoe to drop. That shoe finally drops and shit hits the fan and it's over, and I've seen it happen over and over again, and it's because people didn't want to resolve issues that were going on in their life. So being too externally focused can lead to problems with regulating emotions. I've heard tons and tons of people talking about, thinking over emotions versus emotions over thinking. And I personally believe that you need to think on emotional levels. You know what I mean? You need to learn how to recognize your emotions and being able to take care of them when they pop up. Because there's a lot of people out there who are emotionally bankrupt and don't know how to do that. To be honest, they have no comprehension on what they're doing. So that's something that really stuck out to me when I crossed this. And I think that's something that I tried to bring up in the streams too, but it really never hit home in the conversation. People really have a hard time with that, and they just don't want to believe it. So people are consciously or unconsciously ignoring their emotions, basically. They do it on purpose sometimes, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're not even aware of the fact that they're ignoring their emotions, but they do it. Alright, so after that we talk about the term left brain. Now, being left brain is a way of describing someone who is analytical, logical, and methodical. Being analytical, logical, and methodical is a masculine aspect. It's based on the idea that one side of the brain is more dominant than the other in each person, and that the left hemisphere is associated with logic, language, and critical thinking. Okay, so you got analytical, you've got logical, methodical, which is logic and language and critical thinking. People who are left-brained are also said to be detail-oriented and orderly, and may do well in careers that involve math, verbal information, and linear thinking, such as accounting, science, or computer programming. That would be Mark Edworthy to a T. Mr. Critical Thinking and Linear Thinking. That is the most linear dude I know. Okay? Seriously, that it is. So, let me see what we got here. I'm gonna go on and make sure he isn't watching. So he might. Yeah. Got 2 people on Rumble, 1 on Twitch. I can't really tell who's watching on X. I had 2 views on YouTube, so we know that much. So after that, I do want to talk about um, summer. You know, the time of year. Summer is often associated with masculine energy as well. Summer embodies qualities such as activity, growth, and outward expression, which are traditionally linked to masculine traits. So when discussing this stuff, you're going to be discussing aspects and traits, things of that nature, and not only nature, but you're also talking about society and people's traits and their, in different aspects of life. So just be aware of that. Summer embodies qualities such as activity, growth, and outwardly expression, which are traditionally linked to masculine traits. The season is marked by longer days, increased social activities, and a general sense of dynamism and productivity. So, dynamism and productivity, masculine aspects and traits. In many cultural and spiritual traditions, the day is often associated with masculine energy, the actual day. So you have day, and then you have night. Okay? In many cultural and spiritual traditions, the day itself is often associated with masculine energy. Daytime is characterized by activity, light, and outward expression, which align with traditional masculine qualities: assertiveness, action, visibility. The sun is widely regarded as a masculine symbol in many cultural, spiritual, and astrological traditions. It represents qualities such as strength, power, vitality, and outward expression. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and Greeks worshiped sun gods such as Ra and Apollo, respectively, further reinforcing its masculine association. The support and protection provided by a partner during childbirth can be seen as embodying masculine energy. So, childbirth, birth, the support and protection provided by a partner during childbirth can be seen as an embodying masculine energy. The conscious mind is often associated with masculine traits like logic and decision making. So the conscious mind is also a masculine aspect. Traditionally, masculine traits like independence and daring are associated with creativity. So the masculine aspects of creativity is masculine traits, and that would be through independence and being daring. Masculine traits can include forms of expression such as assertiveness and confidence. The left hemisphere, associated with logical and analytical thinking, is often linked to masculine energy. So that would be the left hemisphere associated with logical and analytical thinking. In many cultures, death is often personified as masculine, such as the Grim Reaper. The heart embodies courage, strength, and determination, which can be seen as a masculine trait. So the masculine trait of the heart is courage, strength, and determination. Alright, so with that, I am going to do another quick break, and I will be right back. put some music on for you guys. And we will be back here in a minute. Just gotta get the music going, figure out what we're gonna do. Put one of Austin's on. Now, the other day I did Lonely Legend, and see what we can do here first. I'm gonna do Celebrazion. It's a weird name, but it's from Austin Summers, and I will put it on, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, that's not working. Let me see what's going on here.
I'm your number one fan. Wrote you again and again, and again and again. How many more lives must I send? I want your autograph, addressed to me personally, on your photograph. I do nothing but be. I'm the paparazzi, chase celebrities, cause I need their pictures for the trash magazines and their privacy. No importance to me. Doesn't need to capitalize on every little part of their lives. I wanna get rich off them, exploiting all their problems. Hope their private lives are
we have that one done. That was from Austin Todd, and I am going to put another one on because they it takes a little bit of time for me to be able to actually get a cigarette rolled and have one ready to go. So this one is going to be from Old John. It's called Dead of Night. It's called Dead of Night Rhythm. So I hope you guys enjoy. Figured it would take longer. I didn't know how much longer, but I figured it would be, so sorry about that. Don't know how much time passed. Now, before I get started with the feminine aspects, I am going to switch this media back around to a slideshow so that you guys will have something to watch. Alright. Let's get things back in order. And we will be going here just in a second. Okay, so I just went over the masculine aspects, traits, and energy, according to modern perspectives of the masculine, the whole energy thing and what they're associated to and stuff like that. So now I am going to get into the feminine aspects. And remember, if anything that I just mentioned is in your life and you're doing any of that stuff, then you are you have a masculine aspect, trait, or a masculine energy that you're using in your everyday life. So this has absolutely, or I'm not going to say absolutely nothing. It's not just about your gender, you know what I mean? I don't know how much I can reinforce that. It has to do everything with nature, to science, to society, the way we act, everything, you know what I mean? Even in our literature, the books that are written, theology, it's all through theology like you wouldn't believe. So, with that, let me start with the female aspects. Feminine aspects of nature are the beauty of nature itself. Okay, the moon represents the feminine aspect of cooling cycles and beauty. Now, feminine attributes within society encompass color, variety, playfulness, shyness, communication skills, intelligence, innocence, emotions, and gentleness. Communication skills is one that even men have as well. Intelligence, if you're intelligent, then that's a feminine aspect that that you have. And so just a way of looking at that. If you're gentle, it doesn't matter. It's feminine. It's a feminine aspect. These qualities contribute to our social interactions, fostering diversity and understanding. That would include sympathy, love, mercy, and peace of mind, are feminine aspects according to Hindu theology. Now, feminine energies are associated with yin energy, a concept in traditional Chinese medicine that represents the feminine, passive, and receptive energy of the earth and moon. It can also be described as cool, dark, soft, still, and contemplative. Yin energy is often associated with colors, usually dark colors. It's associated with spaces, closed, quiet spaces. Foods with a higher water content, like fruits, vegetables, soy products, crab. It's also associated with symbols such as the tiger, the color orange, a broken line. Now, feminine energies are associated also to winter. Winter is typically seen as embodying feminine energy, characterized by introspection, nurturing, and inward focus. As well as winter, it's associated with night. The night is typically associated with feminine energy, embodying qualities like introspective rest and receptiveness. The moon is typically seen as embodying feminine energy as well, symbolizing intuition, emotional depth, and cycles of change. The big change word. Now that's something that we all can relate to, change, isn't it? Now with birth is generally associated with with feminine energy. Okay, birth embodies qualities such as creation, nurturing in the beginning of life, which are traditionally linked to feminine aspects. Now, the subconscious mind is linked to feminine traits as well, like intuition and creativity. Nurturing is traditionally associated with feminine qualities. Traits such as emotional expression, compassion, and collaboration are often linked to femininity, or the feminine. Being receptive is traditionally associated with feminine energy. Feminine energy is often described as open, nurturing, and intuitive, emphasizing the ability to receive and be passive. Feminine traits such as sensitivity and nurturing also play a crucial role in creativity as well. Traditionally, feminine traits are often associated with emotional expressiveness, empathy, and nurturing. The concept of intuition is often associated with feminine energy. Being internally focused is generally associated with feminine energy. Feminine energy emphasizes introspection, emotional awareness, and self-care. It encourages turning inward to connect to one's inner self and emotions. Now, right brain thinking is often associated with feminine energy too. The right hemisphere of the brain is linked to qualities such as intuition, creativity, empathy, and holistic thinking. However, in some traits, death is depicted as feminine, like Santa Marti in Mexican culture, or Marzana in Slavic mythology. In many spiritual and metaphysical traditions, the heart chakra, or anahata, is seen as a center of love, compassion, and empathy, which are often considered feminine qualities. Now, I did make a few side notes, and the first note is that the moon is more of a representation of the feminine aspect of nature, while the sun is represented more towards the masculine aspect of nature. And you see that a lot within history, especially in religions from the ancient world, from ancient history. There's moon worshippers, which were more of a feminine aspect, and then you had that favored the feminine aspects, which were lunar worshippers, Then you had the sun worshippers, which were the masculine aspects, which favored the masculine aspects, is what I should say. Now, another note that I made is in many cultures and spiritual traditions, the mind is seen as a balance of masculine and feminine energy, not just one or the other, but both. Even though I described the masculine aspects of the mind and the feminine, or the masculine energies and the feminine energies, they're in many cultures and spiritual traditions, the mind is seen as a balance of masculine and feminine energies. This duality is thought to create a harmonious and complete self. Alright, moving on to the next one. Creativity is often seen as a blend of both masculine and feminine qualities. Creative individuals tend to embrace both sides, combining assertiveness and empathy, combining assertiveness with empathy and intuition. So creativity is one thing that's in both aspects as well. Even though I described the masculine and the feminine separately on what they are, they're both considered to be both. And on a lot of these two, what I'm reading is a lot of people are connecting these to gender. When I was reading through it, I heard a lot of that, and that's the one thing that I think people always make a mistake about. They always connect these aspects to genders, like a male is supposed to be masculine, a female is supposed to be feminine, when in reality they both have both aspects within them. But you can see it in the writing when you read it. And this actually caused a big issue with me and a friend of mine, or a couple of friends of mine, because they had a hard time understanding these things. So that's something that really is crazy. Even when you go in and you look at definitions and you of what being a masculine and what being feminine is, they throw that up on there, and there's just so much more to it than just if you're a man or a woman. It really is. I think it's sad that when you look at stuff like this. Now, another note that I made is intuitive ability is influenced by a combination of factors, including personality traits, life experiences, and cognitive abilities. Now, the gender of death can vary depending on cultural and literary context. In English, the concept of death itself is genderless, but its personification can take on either masculine or feminine traits. This is when I was discussing death being masculine and feminine. Now, the flexibility allows for a wide range of interpretations in literature and art. And now for the last note that I made, it is the heart is often associated with both masculine and feminine qualities depending on the context. This has to do with the heart. Ultimately, the heart represents a balance of both masculine and feminine energies, reflecting the idea that everyone possesses a blend of these qualities. So, when it comes to the masculine and the feminine aspects of the heart, it's also a combination of both. And if you really look and think hard enough, you can always see a combination of both in pretty much everything that you look at. It's like I said, we had a really, really good series going on here, and it was a bit complicated, but we ended up getting through it. This is the best I could outline what I made of it. To be honest, a lot of the topic for duality wasn't really covered in this series. We got caught up in a lot of the feminine and the masculine aspects and never really focused much on duality, but we did focus on it. I think that eventually what happened is we ended up having to, well, what I did, and I think it upset Bob whenever I did it, but I suggested to her that we change the name from duality to something else, because by the end of the episode I'd realized that a lot of this stuff covers a huge range of topics which goes outside of the scope of just duality. So, and like I said, you can't cover like feminine and masculine attributes with just going from one topic to another, like the masculine aspects of nature, and then going on to the next one, like the natural or the masculine aspects of so and so. It doesn't work like that. It kind of starts out with nature and then it goes in deeper until all of a sudden you're talking about society and you're talking about the universe, talking about science and buoyancy and bees and hummingbirds and all these other things. And that's basically the way that this all works, you know what I mean? It starts out on a natural basis, and then it expands and it gets wider until eventually you start seeing it in literature and religion and theology, or whatever you call it, you know, philosophy, the whole 9 yards. And the same goes with the feminine aspects. And from what we did do when it came to duality, it was the same thing with duality. You see duality the same way, and it's basically the way the same setup too. You can't just go from one topic to another, you know. So it's very interesting how this all worked out and the way it played out. I was really glad that I was able to read all of this information and get it out there. I think we did a really good show of it, and hopefully Bob Dub keeps up on it, because she's the one that really wanted to do most of this stuff. It had a very strange effect on me. I ended up hearing a lot of weird feedback from all this, but I learned quite a bit from it, and I'm grateful that I actually did it. I'm glad that I was able to do this with Bob Dub. She's a really smart woman, even though she doesn't like taking credit for how smart she is. She's pretty smart. And also I was able to meet Rush of Waves. He's a pretty cool guy too. They're all into nature and watching birds and animals and talking about it. Just basically minds.com average person, you know what I mean? Good people. So if you get a chance to check them out. Auto is also pretty cool. He's Auto Excelsior. He's a pretty good guy. So that's pretty much all the stuff that I wanted to read. So I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna see if anybody has actually been on here watching, and if I have anything that I have to respond to, which I usually don't, but I usually check anyhow. So everything seems good. Doesn't seem like anybody's on. It's pretty late here. It's like almost 12:30, so I'll be able to cut this out early. Before I go, I should probably put some music on so that people can hear a little bit of Within the Vacuum. I'm gonna put another song of his on. I did do some music from everybody else, so it's only fair. At least I think it is. Let's see here. I've got to figure out what would be a good song. Actually, you know what I could do? Yeah, here we go. Found it. Here we go. Found it. So, did I remember? And I believe I did The Illusion. Numbers and Letters is what I did. Morning Trip is one that I know. Yeah, I'll do Morning Trip. This is Morning Trip from Within the Vacuum. Hope you guys enjoy.
Where all the butterflies are going, oh, the yellow ones, are they where that I can watch them going through the sky, fading with the yellow sunshine? Why all the birds are singing? Do they know that I wish I could fly to the land where the butterflies are merging up with the yellow sunshine? Look at me, I am the prettiest, I am the flower of your dreams. Yeah, it's all a dream. Don't stick it to your heart, all will die when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down. When the sun goes down. That one is Morning Trip.
Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you do, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, share, whatever it is that you like to do. I will be on next week, hopefully with 3 hours. I'm really glad that this was able to cut short because last week it went to 3 hours and 15 minutes. And here lately I've been live streaming to X, and I'm not really sure how long their videos are capable of live streaming. So I know it's not as long as what other ones usually are. So Odyssey I know is like well, I know it's longer than that. And Rumble I believe is like 4 hours. So I've got to really keep an eye on the amount of time that I put into it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm having issues with my internet right now where it's cutting in and out on the bandwidth, so I should probably start thinking about cutting this short. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, thank you. Alright, I'm glad you did, and then thank you for watching. So with that, I'm going to end the stream.